Well, we've now seen our first 5 teams here into Unalakleet. What are your initial impressions of that race?
First off, 5 beautiful dog teams. It's really nice to see good-sized, strong, happy, healthy dog teams rolling into Unalakleet. So, first of all, props to all those mushers for getting great teams here. Now, amongst that, there are some, I think, that are even stronger, and I think that's the right way to say it. Obviously, Ryan's been flying down the trail. He's been posting some really good times, and right now him and Pete are out in front. But Pete's team is phenomenal looking also, so we very much have a race on our hands, and despite Pete being about an hour back, I still might put my money on Pete. Yeah, he's got a nice team. They both do.
What would be going through your mind right now if you're Ryan?
Ryan, he's got to play to his strength. He has the speed. And that's where I wouldn't gamble with that, right? He needs to keep that speed, keep moving fast, and run his race on that, and make it be about speed. If he can make this a speed race, he has a very good chance of, walking away an Iditarod Champion, which I know I've been in the same shoes. I grew up in the sport just like him, and that's been a dream, no doubt, for him since he was tiny. And that is his strength. Now, he did just do that long haul all the way here to Unalakleet. We'll see how that works out for him. And I'm really excited to see if he's going to stop in Shaktoolik or go a little bit past. And that's going to be really whether or not he leverages that move. And if you're Pete, I think he might have a little more depth. He hasn't had the same speed as Ryan. Ryan's been outrunning him by about 20 minutes on each run. But I feel like his team might have a longer range, and he might be able to pull some moves down coast that Ryan may not be able to. So both of them are right now trying to, I would say, struggle or figure out a way to make this race be about their strength and not their opponent's strength.
What about Richie Deal? He's kind of right on the heels there. Yeah,
Richie's in a really interesting spot here. Obviously he started out coming over here in second place. He's now in third. I don't know that he's in a tough spot, right? I don't know that he has the speed that Ryan has, and I don't know that he has the depth that Pete has. He's not invulnerable to teams behind, so it's really tough to race for that. When it's a 3-way race, it's tricky because either Ryan or Pete, if they make too aggressive of a move to try to get first, they might end up losing second. So you got to look behind you as well as in front of you. Richie, I think I don't want to say hope somebody has a mistake, but run a tight, clean race and get your team to the finish line as fast as you think they can. And there's a lot of miles left. Anything can happen. Hey, we got some nice teams here still, and it's not over till the fat lady sings, as they say, right? So stay in there, stay close, stay within striking range, but I wouldn't want to weaken my team, right?
Yeah, we have got 2 dog teams in the checkpoint right now. Our 4th and 5th teams in are both rookies. Is that unusual?
Incredibly unusual. They're both phenomenal-looking dog teams, too. Good-sized teams, good speed. Hunter Keefe, he came over with a beautiful-looking team just rolling on in here. And sometimes coming into a checkpoint can be a little bit deceptive. You see the teams coming in here at 11 miles an hour. I doubt they've been doing that the whole way. But it does show that this team can stretch out, and all of them are capable of doing that speed comfortably. And that says a lot about a team. So very nice-looking team there. He had a little more speed than Eddie. Sorry, I haven't slept lately. He had a little more speed than Eddie coming over here. But knowing the dogs they're running, I would say Eddie, I think he might have a little more staying power. I think in general, Hunter's running the nicer team, but we're splitting hairs, right? Usually it's a clear-cut, fast team, slower team, but these ones are so close that I hate to say they're a slower team when many other years that would have been one of the fastest teams to get here. So it's a tough one, but right now I'd say that race is leaning towards Hunter. But again, lots of miles, and this is a section of the race where, especially for a rookie, which they both are, you have to remember they have never been this far with a dog team in their life, right? They've never run. They don't know what it's like to go from 600 miles to 700 miles and 700 to 800 and 800 to 900, and each level is much harder. So the likelihood of mistake gets higher and higher, but they're also in a good routine. They've been out here for a while. They got through that hurdle. That's, I would say, the 300 to 500 mile range. There's a really big difference going from mid-distance races and 300-mile races where it's a finite race to the Iditarod, which really is infinite. You have to go to a sustainable pace that you could do indefinitely. And they've obviously made that transition well, and I have to assume they're going to keep doing well up from here, but each mile of trail is brand new to them, so a little more volatile, I would say, than the 3 mushers ahead of them that have seen this trail, know what it's like to run a 1,000-mile race.
You mentioned this is one of your favorite stretches of the trail.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always broken the race into kind of thirds. In the first third, it's more about getting the team into the right routine, into the right sync, getting them through their 24-hour mandatory rest. The idea is to leave your 24 with a better team than you started the race with. And it's almost, I hate to say it, but almost boring because it feels like a training run and it's tedious. You want to do everything right, but you're not getting to race really. You're not really looking at your competition. The middle third is about positioning that team within striking distance in CalTag or Unila cleat. But still having, in my book, the most important thing is having the strongest team more than position. So priority 1, have the strongest team. Priority 2 is be within striking range. And then the final third, that's my favorite part because now you actually get to race this team that you've built all season, their entire lives, right? I mean, you got dogs that are 8, 9 years old in there that you've been working with for thousands and thousands of miles. We've been building through the race and everything. Now you get to let them go. Now you get to race. You get to jockey for position. Mushers are sleep deprived. Every decision is critical at this point. One bad decision here can be way more than an entire month of good training back in October or November, right? So these decisions get bigger and bigger and heavier, and I love that. So this is a fun part to be in the race, or fun stretch, and it's a very fun part to be watching the race. And
speaking of watching, you do have a team in the race. Kelly Maxner is running your dogs. What do you think of how they're doing so far?
They're making it down the trail, That's a phenomenal dog team, and he's done a good job with it. There's some things that I would have done differently, but I've really tried to. It's his race, right? But I saw him very briefly when I went through CalTag. I went from Eagle Island, where I was helping in the checkpoint, and ran up here to Unila cleat. Made a 30-minute pit stop in CalTag to say hi and check in and let people know where I was going. He's upbeat and happy. The dogs look good, and they're eating phenomenally well, and that really is the most important thing. Is what that team's, eating. They run on their stomachs basically, so you got to keep that food coming in, got to keep the energy up. Kelly's upbeat, the team's looking good, so we'll see. There's still a lot of miles left, and I hope, as I think every musher hopes at this point in the race, that they can be looking in front of them and not behind them. And what I mean by that is I want to have a team, and I think he thinks he has a team, that can catch the team in front of you, not saying, I wonder how many of these guys are going to pass me before I get to Nome.
And what's next for you? Are you heading up trail here soon?
Yeah, I'm going to mosey on up to Nome. I don't really have a plan. Hang out here and watch a bunch of teams go through, and then maybe slingshot up to Koyak maybe. I don't know. It's nice not having a plan. Like, I'm just enjoying being out here, finding people that are fun to meet and chat with. It's been something really cool this year. I started out in Nana, so on the Northern Route Trail, I went through, Ruby and Galena, and then on to CalTag, of course. But I had time to talk to people that I've seen 10 years before, it seems like, going through in the races, but I've never had the chance to actually get to meet them. And by meet them, I mean like have a conversation, have a cup of coffee. So that's been really fun this year, is visiting these places. I've been by dog team, but always in a hurry, and having the time to just, get to know the people, get to know the place. And it's been way more fun than I had anticipated.
And we'll see you in Nome?
Oh, yeah, I'll be in Nome. I'll be up there helping take care of the team when they cross the finish line, and enjoying the festivities. Iditarod has been my life forever, and I don't think I'd miss Nome if I have any choice in the matter. And that's probably my favorite week of the year, is up in Nome. All the mushers, the stress is off, the pressure's off, the race is done, good, bad, or ugly, it's over. And everybody kind of lets their hair down for a day or two, and talks dogs. Talk dogs? Sleep deprivation or homeschool, you take your pick.
Well, it's great to see you and your brother out here helping with the race, certainly, and great to get your insights as well. Thanks so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Nice chatting.
Wonderful. 5-time Iditarod champion Dallas Seavey here in Unila cleat, and you'll probably be seeing him more on the Insider as he makes his way up to Nome. So stay tuned.